Hello and welcome to another video. Thank you so much for joining me today. So today we are talking about why you don't need expensive filters when first starting photography. Roll that epic B-roll. So I haven't actually made a video since beginning of June because I knew summer was coming up and everybody flocks to all these, we got some beautiful locations in the southwest and everybody always flocks to them, and you can never make a video there unless you're getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I made a load and scheduled them for release throughout the summer, which is what I've done, and now I'm back out. So I haven't made a video since June and it's now middle of September, nearly the 20th of September. So that's how long it's been. So it feels a bit weird, but also really good to be back out again. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Season coming up, we're September now, so we're starting to see some changes in those leaves. So that's going to be exciting. Nice autumn videos, and then got mushrooms coming up, obviously, and then obviously all the great weather comes with winter, I think. Let me know what your favourite season is to shoot in. Mine's definitely winter, definitely. Wow, a lot's changed since I came out here last. This was all a lot of boulders, and it looks like it's been dredged out for people to swim in or something, but that's fine. There's a little bit down here that I might be able to get to. We're going to head down that way and see. So just over here, look, I don't know if you can see it. It's a lovely cornfield. I would love to take my daughter in that cornfield and do some Halloween shoots at night, maybe. That would be pretty spooky. I think that would be cool. Maybe find out whether I can actually access it or not. That would be cool. Make a good video. But first of all, why do we need filters in photography? So there's a few obvious reasons. One's to slow the water down, and it also, you can slow the movement of clouds down, which are two good reasons for it. But also we've got polarizers that we can cut the glare off of the water, so we can actually see through the water, and the same with the leaves, brings out the color, cuts the glare off the leaves if it's been raining. So very useful in photography, and I'm not saying don't ever buy filters, because there's a lot of uses for them. What I am saying is you shouldn't waste money on filters, because you don't know what you actually enjoy taking photos of. So when I first started when I first started doing photography, I didn't really do a lot of long exposures. I didn't do any of that sort of stuff. So I didn't really know that was something I wanted to do. I bought a couple of filters. I think I bought a 32 to 2000 ND at the time. Cost me 60 odd quid, and then barely used that. A couple of other variables that I bought as well. And again, didn't really use them because I didn't really know how to use them, and also I didn't know the type of photography I was into at the time. Since then, I've gotten into photography. I've actually enjoyed water photography and slowing water down, and I bought myself a set of Lee filters, which cost me probably up to £1,000 worth of filters, and I use them a lot. But I wouldn't have known that if I'd have gone out and bought £1,000 worth of filters. I may have barely used the polarizer, for example, and not used any of the NDs or the grads. So really do find out what type of photography you're into, because there are a lot of uses for them, and if you don't take photos of that kind, you're wasting money. So that's the obvious one, really, is money wastage. Find out the type of photography you're into, and then buy your filters. I really want to get down here so you can just see these rocks. Obviously it's causing the water to cascade down there, but it doesn't look like before. When last time I come down here, the water levels were a lot lower. I mean, we've just had summer, so they shouldn't be that high, but you could walk down all these pebbles all the way across here, but I might just try and get down the bank and just try and get a dodgy way down. Probably end up slipping over, so stay tuned for that. Another thing to think about as well is the type of photography you're into, and depending on what type of filter you might need. If you're into shooting, say, street photography, and you want something that's quick and accessible, you might want magnetic filters. If you're into, say, landscape and you've got a little bit of time, maybe you want some slide-in ones, have a bit more control, slow you down a little bit more. So there are a few types of filters you can get. You might want a variable ND rather than a set ND. Shoot as you go, constantly change with the light, or you might just be using a set type of filter that you know is going to give you the result. So learning of all of those little bits of photography that will help you decide what filter that you need will be very useful. Oh, what a shame I can't get down there, which is a real pity, because this is what I came to photograph here, but I just can't get down with these brambles. Maybe what I need to be is on that side of the bank. Maybe it's time to invest in some waders. So limited on compositions here, it's not the greatest. I mean, if the autumn colours are in, we'd be looking at a completely different type of image. So right now I'm looking at framing, so using a bit of this log, the side of this tree, and these overarching branches here to try and frame some of this water that's just coming over these rocks here that will create a nice flow with a long exposure. How it's going to turn out, I'm not overly optimistic about this one. I don't think it's going to be the greatest composition in the world, but for where I am and what I've got to play with, I think it might work. The second one, again, it's more of a framing around here with this, but it's where I come, and again, using this water to actually frame my composition, and that would be the subject. So those are the ones I'm going to set up for. I'm going to set up for those two, and I'll be back with you. Right, I've set my shot up. I'm not happy with it. It's not working. The composition's just not working for me, and I'll show you what I mean. So the back of the camera here, you can see you've got the tree on the right and the branch that's coming out, and then the water here, which is what I was hoping would kind of balance out the image, but this is just there's so much nothing here. It's just too much negative space on the left, and I feel like it just doesn't work. So I'm not happy with that. I'm probably going to go for the second composition, because I think that one's got more of a framing element to it, which might work a little bit better in this situation. Right, so I'm set up for another shot. Again, I'm not sure how well this works because the water is so far up in the top right of the image. The framing part works okay, I think. It's not too bad, but I don't know how long I'm going to be here, because I keep getting wasps flying around, or something that's buzzing flying around me. And as much as I like winter, you've got to get to the winter part first, and we're in that September-October period where the wasps just go crazy and sting anything they like. So I'm a bit dubious about that, so I might just move in a minute. But I just want to talk about this frame in a second. So you've got the water, so the frame's quite nice, I quite like, the water's there, but the bit that I was focusing on, the composition of that I was hoping to draw your eye to, which is the three little cascades here, the little rapid bits, they're too far up in the top right hand corner, and I'm not overly sure whether that was going to work or not, but the more I come down, the more I reveal with the background, and I don't really want too much of that in the shot. So again, it might not work too well. Right, so I'll come down a little bit lower, and I just want to talk you through the settings quickly. I'm on 1 second shutter speed. I'm on f22 ISO 100. Now, all right, f22, not the greatest f-stop to be at, but we've got a nice overcast sky, and we've got the shade of the trees, which allows me to bring the shutter speed down to 1 second with that f-stop, and it will give me a nice long exposure shot, and it's something you can practice with. Now, obviously daytime's not the best time to be practicing long exposure without the filters, and that's what you need the filters for, but you can pop out sunrise, you can get a good 30-second exposure at sunrise without any filters at all. a good way to practice and see whether you're into long exposure photography or whether you want to move on and do some other type of photography as well. But always, like I said, polarizers are really good to have anyway, so grab yourself a polarizer, because a circular polarizer will save you in a lot of situations. So that's always good to have. But I'm talking ND filters, they're not always necessary, and if you're just starting out, then this may be the way to try it out and get your feet wet, if you like. Hopefully I don't get my feet wet, but yeah, this is the way you can try that out without actually spending out a fortune on filters. So we've got the tree here. I might cut off at the bottom of this tree, and then we've got the branch and the trees coming in from this right hand side, this branch frame in the left hand side, and then we've got these overalls, and I've kept these in because I've come lower and I've got these in as well. And then hopefully your eye will be drawn to this waterfall or this cascade here, but I'm not too sure. But this is what it looks like on the back of the camera, and I will post the proper image up right now. Just had a wasp chase me all the way down through this little pathway here, and I ended up here, and actually where I stopped, thought this actually doesn't look too bad. It's probably a better composition than what I came up with before. Right, it's still not going to be the greatest, you know, the greatest composition in the world, but this element here is in the middle almost of the frame. So thanks to the wasp, I mean, bad mouthing the wasps earlier, it's actually done me a favor. So thanks to the wasp, I'm going to set up here and just take this image quickly. So low to the ground. At the widest this lens will go is a 17 to 40, and it's at 17 mil, just to try and keep this tree and this tree in the frame. And I'm going to use some of this leaves as a foreground element, and then down here, the reason I've come down so low is you've got these two trees either side, and they're almost pointing at this. It's not quite there, but it's almost pointing at this little cascade here, and it just reminded me of the 16th Chapel. So that's the image I'm going to put up. Let me know what you think in the comments. And yeah, settings are 1 second again, f22 ISO 100. I wish when I first started out in photography somebody had said to me, oh, you know, give this, what's that? Oh, it's dog. I wish when I first started out in photography somebody had said to me, go out at sunrise and try long exposure at sunrise or sunset or on a cloudy day. And the thought never entered my mind, and I went out and bought my filters, and then when I realized I liked it, I bought more filters, and then when I realized that I didn't really know what the filters were for or what they were doing, I bought more filters, and I bought some Lee filters in the end. And I'm not saying don't go and buy filters, because they do have a time and a place. I took this photo at the Lone Tree in Babbacombe a couple of days ago, and I wouldn't have been able to get this shot without some filters, because I needed the light from, so the sun was rising, but it was rising behind the tree, and I needed the light in front of the tree on the rocks illuminating the steps. And obviously I needed the light in the sky to do that, and I wouldn't have been able to get that shot because my images would have been blown out without filters. So filters have a time and a place. And obviously, I'm not saying don't get filters at all. I'm saying just be mindful of when you go and pick your filters, what you're using it for. Will you need it? Because sometimes you just need a polarizer. I will make another video for sunrise, I think, with no filters. I think that might make a good video. And if you're interested in any of my other videos, there's a video here that is with my ND, oh God, what is it now? 2000, I think it was, variable that I tried out at Boscastle, I want to say. When I first started photography or landscape photography, and then also a video, and I'll pop another one up if I can, that shows you what I first thought of the Lee filters when I first bought that. I think probably just over a year ago now. So yeah, so just leaves to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.